You check the message again. The words are frozen, unchanged. You scroll back, tracing each line, searching for a reason, a flicker of intent that never surfaces. The screen glows cold. Your chest tightens, a knot you can't name. You think it explains. You think it holds the key. It doesn't. This is the loop, the one you swore you'd break. Yet here you are, tethered to the same pain, the same regret. The silence mocks, but you keep digging, as if their absence could speak. Why do you seek answers in a void that never replies? You call it closure, you call it control. But each glance pulls you deeper into a spiral of shame, a maze of rejection. What if the answer isn't there? What if it never was? You're not solving their silence. You're building your own cage. Each check, each pause, each moment you linger, it locks tighter. The truth isn't in their words. It's in your choice to keep searching or to stop. The habit carves a wound, quiet, invisible. You don't see it. Others don't notice. But it festers. Each time you return, each time you wait, it's not just time you lose. It's you, slipping further from the center, further from the ground you once held. The void isn't theirs, it's yours. Their silence isn't the trap, your reaction is. You don't control their absence, but you control the pause, or the fall. The choice is stark, yet you hesitate, caught in the flicker of a screen that offers nothing. There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better, stronger, richer, quicker, or smarter. Everything is within. Everything is within you. Marcus Aurelius. Their absence isn't your puzzle to solve. Their silence isn't your weight to carry. You choose what you hold and what you release. Stop choosing the shame. Stop choosing the loop. The answers you seek, they're not in the glow of a screen. They're in the quiet, the one you keep running from. When you last stayed still, did you feel free or just delay the same chase? You thought you'd moved on. You thought you'd learned. Yet the urge returns, and you follow, like a shadow trailing a light that's gone. The trap isn't new. It's you, stepping into it again. Look at the screen. Look at your hands. What are you really holding? A memory? A hope? Or a chain you forged yourself? The question isn't theirs to answer. It's yours to face. The next move isn't theirs. It's yours. The loop ends when you decide. The silence isn't a verdict. It's a space. Step into it, or keep falling. You think explaining will close the gap. You draft the message. Each word weighed, polished, perfect. You believe it matters. That they'll see your truth, your pain, your worth. You hit send, or you don't. Either way, you wait. The silence returns, heavier, colder. Nothing shifts. The void remains, unyielding. You thought words would fix it. You thought they'd hear. They don't, and the weight grows. Not from their absence, but from your need to be seen. It's not their response you chase. It's the feeling you lost. You think one more try will bring it back. One more plea will prove you're enough. You craft another line, another reason, another chance. But the loop tightens, relentless. Each word you send, each second you wait. It's not them you're losing. It's you, your presence, your ground, your quiet. The silence isn't a puzzle to solve. It's just silence, and it doesn't owe you an answer. Their silence isn't your burden, but you carry it. You think explaining will lighten the load, will make them see. It won't. The urge to explain is the trap. The need to be understood is the weight. You're not reclaiming control. You're giving it away piece by piece to a void that doesn't care. You lose hours. You lose clarity. You lose the stillness you could have claimed. The answer was never in their reply. It was always in your choice to stop. You cannot make people understand you, nor should you try. Epictetus, their ears aren't your task. Their silence isn't your chain. You don't need their nod to stand. You don't need their eyes to see. The trap isn't their absence. It's your refusal to let it be. Stop. Detach. The words you want to send, they're not for them. They're for you, and you don't need them anymore. When the urge to explain rises, pause. Breathe through. Don't type. Don't speak. Let the need pass, like a cloud that doesn't stay. You don't need their understanding to be whole. You don't need their answer to move. The silence isn't a verdict. It's a mirror. Look into it and see yourself. Withdraw, and the noise fades. The gap doesn't close, but you don't need it to. You're not their silence. You're your own truth. And that's enough. Lesson 1. The trap of overthinking. You sit alone. The room is dark, the world quiet, but your mind roars. A memory surfaces. Their words, their silence, their absence. You turn it over, dissect it, replay it. Why did they leave? What did you miss? What could you have done? The questions pile, heavy, endless, a weight you can't shake. You think you're solving it. You think you're finding truth. You're not. It's overthinking. A loop that promises clarity but delivers only pain. A maze with no exit. Each thought you chase carves deeper. A wound you don't see. The hours slip, the days blur. You're not closer to answers. You're further from yourself. The mind spins. Relentless. Building stories. Crafting reasons. Digging for meaning that isn't there. Their silence isn't a code to crack. Their absence isn't a riddle to solve. You're not finding closure. You're forging chains. You lose presence. You lose ground. You lose the quiet to a storm you created. There is nothing more wretched than a man who traverses everything in a round and digs into things beneath, seeking to know what is in the minds of others. Marcus Aurelius. The answers you seek aren't theirs. They're yours. Their silence isn't your puzzle. Your need to solve it is. Stop digging. The hole only deepens. The truth isn't in their head. It's in your pause. The one you keep avoiding. Pause. That's the override. When the mind races, don't follow. Breathe through. Let the thought come. Let it go. It's not truth. It's noise. Watch it fade, like a wave that doesn't stay. You don't need their reasons to stand. You don't need their story to breathe. One breath, then another, then silence. The loop breaks when you refuse to feed it. You're not their absence. You're your presence. And that's enough. You didn't cause their silence. You can't solve it. You can only choose to think or to pause. The mind wants to run. Hold it. See the urge. Don't chase it. The clarity you crave isn't in their words. It's in your stillness. The storm quiets when you stop stirring it. Pain doesn't mean truth. The pause lingers. A crack in the storm. But another reflex waits. One that binds tighter. Lesson 2. The anchor of clinging. Your hand hovers. The phone lies still. Its screen dark. Their name glows. A ghost you can't bury. You don't call. You don't text. But you don't delete either. You hold on to the message, to the memory, to the maybe. It feels like loyalty. It feels like hope. It's not. It's clinging. A weight you choose to carry. An anchor you drag through every quiet moment. You think it keeps them close? You think it keeps you whole? It doesn't. The anchor sinks. Slow. Unseen. Days pass, and you're tethered to a moment long gone. You see their name, and your heart skips. You read their words, and the ache returns. Each time you linger, you tighten the chain. You're not holding them. You're holding pain, a shadow that doesn't move. You lose the present, you lose the light, you lose the chance to walk unburdened. The past isn't a home, it's a cage, and your grip is the lock. The door is locked. You stand outside, staring at the handle. You could knock forever. It won't open. You could wait, but the cold seeps in. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears.
Seneca, their absence isn't your sentence. Your refusal to walk away is...
The door isn't yours to open. The chain isn't yours to carry. Step back. The path is yours alone. Release. That's the cut. When the urge to hold pulls, don't. Let go. Not with anger, not with regret, with nothing. Drop the name, drop the hope, drop the story. Delete the thread, clear the space, free the weight. You don't need their shadow to stand. You don't need their echo to breathe. One step, then another, then quiet. The chain breaks when you walk away. You didn't lose them. You lost the need to hold. The door stays shut, but you're moving. The quiet isn't empty. It's yours. The anchor lifts, and you're free. Let go isn't weakness. The chain dissolves, but the mind seeks another weight. A dialogue cuts through. Why keep their name? It's just a memory. Memory or a cage? Silence isn't surrender. Another trap waits, one that runs faster than you. Lesson 3. The cycle of chasing. You open their page. The screen lights up. Their life unfolds. You scroll, searching for a trace of you. A post, a story, a sign they remember. You tell yourself it's harmless. A glance, nothing more. It's not. It's chasing. A cycle that binds you to pain you can't outrun. You think you'll find closure. You think you'll find peace. You don't. Only the ache grows, sharp and relentless. Each click tightens the loop, a noose you don't see. You see their smile, and your chest sinks. You see their silence, and your mind spins. You're not closer. You're further from the ground you stand on. The chase doesn't end with them. It ends with you. But you keep running. You lose hours. You lose presence. You lose yourself to a shadow that doesn't turn. Their life isn't your map. Their silence isn't your task. You suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca, their world isn't your answer. Your pursuit is the wound. The race was never yours, yet you run, chasing a light that's gone. Stop. The finish line doesn't exist. The pain you feel is the path you chose. Withdraw. That's the break. When the urge to check hits, don't turn off. Close the app. Shut the screen. Step away. The world doesn't shift, but you do. You don't need their story to write your own. You don't need their light to see. One breath, then another, then quiet. The cycle stops when you stop running. You didn't lose them. You lost the need to chase. The screen goes dark, and you're still here. The ground holds, and you stand. You don't have to react. The chase slows, but the silence reveals another weight. A number slices through. 70% of your pain comes from what you choose to follow. The rest is just noise. Another reflex stirs, one that hides in your stillness. Lesson 4. The mask of suppressing. You feel it rise. The ache, the sting, their name, their absence. It hits like a wave, cold and sharp. You clench your jaw. You push it down. You tell yourself it's strength. You tell yourself it's moving on. It's not. It's suppressing, a mask you wear to bury pain that never leaves. You think you're in control. You think you're past it. You're not. The weight only grows. silent and heavy. The mask cracks, slow, unseen. You smile, but it's hollow. Slow, you work, but you're numb. You move through days, but the ache leaks. A sharp word, a sleepless night, a moment you snap and don't know why. You're not hiding the pain. You're feeding it, letting it fester in the dark. You lose clarity. You lose truth. You lose yourself to a lie you told your heart. The ache isn't gone. It's waiting. Stronger now. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius, the pain isn't your enemy. Your refusal to face it is. The mask doesn't protect, it binds. The ache doesn't fade, it grows when you turn away. Stop hiding. The truth is in the light you avoid. Don't push it down. Sit with it. Let the ache breathe. Let it speak. It's not weak. It's real. You don't need to fight it. Observe. One breath, then another, then quiet. The mask falls when you stop hiding. You're not the pain. You're the one who sees. The ache passes when you let it be. Stillness is enough. The mask falls, but another reflex waits. A scene unfolds. You sit in a room. The clock ticks. The ache rises. You don't move. The wave comes, and you breathe. It passes, and you're still here. Another trap lies ahead, one that splits your path. Lesson 5. The pull of reaction. You feel the sting. Their silence cuts deeper than words. You want to respond, to fix it, to fill the gap. Your fingers hover, ready to type, to call, to act. You think it'll ease the pain. You think it'll prove you're enough. It won't. It's reaction, a reflex that chains you to their void. The path splits here. One choice, two ends. The one who reacts types the message. They send it and wait. The silence grows heavier. The ache sharpens. They lose ground, chasing a shadow that doesn't turn. Their words fall unanswered, and the pain deepens not from the silence, but from the chase. The one who pauses steps back. They breathe. They see the urge, but don't follow. The silence remains, but they don't break. They stand, grounded, free. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca, the sting isn't the wound. Your rush to act is. The silence isn't your enemy. Your need to fill it is. The path isn't theirs. It's yours. Choose the pause or the fall. Choose non-reaction. When the urge hits, hold the line. Don't type. Don't speak. Don't move. Witness the pull and let it pass. You don't need their answer to stand. You don't need their silence to fall. One pause, then another, then quiet. The chain breaks when you stay still. You're not their response. You're your own center. The sting fades when you don't feed it. You don't have to react. The pause holds. But another voice whispers. A historical echo cuts through. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, yet wrote alone, in silence. He didn't answer. He didn't chase. His power was in the pause. His strength in non-reaction. Another reflex waits. One that speaks in your own shadow. Lesson 6. The shadow of regret. I should have said more. I should have stayed. The thought creeps in, late at night, when the world is still. Their face flashes. Their words echo, sharp and cold. I could have changed it. I could have been enough. The mind replays, dissects, rewrites. It feels like truth. It feels like fixing. It's not. It's regret. A shadow that binds you to a past you can't touch. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. The moment wasn't mine to hold. The words wouldn't have turned them. But I keep building the scene. A story where I win, where I'm enough. It doesn't heal. It cuts deeper. The ache grows, not from what was, but from what I imagine could have been. I'm not living. I'm rewriting and losing. The past isn't a home. It's a cage, and my mind is the lock. What need is there to dwell on what is already done? Seneca. The past isn't a script you can edit. Your mind's rewrite is the cage. The moment is gone, but you carry it, heavier with each replay. Stop building. The truth is in the quiet you avoid. See it. That's the shift. When the thought loops, don't rewrite. Observe. Let the scene play, then fade. You don't need to fix what's gone. You don't need to prove what wasn't seen. One breath, then another, then silence. The shadow lifts when you stop feeding it. I'm not the mistake. I'm the one still here. The cage opens when I walk away. The void is where it clears. The shadow fades, but another urge stirs. A case study cuts through. A man sat alone, replaying a betrayal for years. He wrote letters he never sent, built stories he never lived. His life shrank not from the loss, but from the regret he fed. One day, he stopped. He burned the letters and breathed. Another trap waits, one that promises light but delivers chains. Lesson 7. The lure of blind hope. You tell yourself they'll see. One day, they'll understand. You hold the thought close, a spark in the dark, a promise you cling to. You wait for their call, their change, their return. It feels like strength. It feels like faith. It's not. It's hoping blindly, a lure that keeps you tethered to a lie. You think it's patience. You think it's love. It's neither. It's a weight you choose. The spark burns, slow, unseen. You wait, and the days blur. You check for signs, a message, a glance, a shift. Nothing comes. The hope doesn't lift you. It binds you to a future you can't touch. You lose the present. You lose the ground. You lose yourself to a dream that doesn't answer. Their change isn't your task. Your waiting is the wait. If you wish to be happy, wish for things as they are, not as you want them to be. Epictetus. Their truth isn't your light. Your hope is the chain. The spark isn't hope. It's a trap you keep feeding. Stop reaching. The truth is in the quiet you avoid. Disengage. That's the cut. When the spark calls, don't feed it. Step back. See the thought, but don't follow. You don't need their return to stand. You don't need their truth to breathe. One pause, then another, then silence. The lure fades when you stop reaching. You're not their promise. You're your own truth. The spark dims, and you're still here. You can end without drama. The hope dissolves, but another reflex pulls. A metaphor slices through. Hope is a tide. It pulls you out, promising land. You swim, but the shore never comes. Stop swimming, and the current fades. Another trap lies ahead, one that builds on your silence. Lesson 8. The cycle of explaining. You feel the urge to make them understand. You craft the words, perfect, clear, final. You think they'll see your truth, your pain, your worth. You send the message, or you don't. Either way, you're trapped. It's explaining, a cycle that binds you to their silence. You think it's closure. You think it's power. It's not. It's a plea you don't need to make. The system fails. Relentless. You speak, they don't hear. You write, they don't read. You try again, and the loop tightens. Each attempt pulls you further from yourself, further from the quiet. You're not proving your worth. You're begging for a response that doesn't come. You lose clarity, you lose presence, you lose the ground to a need that isn't yours. Their silence isn't your puzzle, your need to fill it is. You cannot control what others think or do. Marcus Aurelius. Their understanding isn't your task. Your need to explain is the flaw. The words you craft, they're not for them. They're for you. And you don't need them anymore. Stop pleading. The truth is in the silence you avoid. No explanation. That's the reset. When the urge to clarify hits, stop. Don't type. Don't speak. Breathe through. Their silence isn't your burden. You don't need their nod to stand. You don't need their ears to be. One pause, then another, then quiet. The system rebuilds when you stay still. You're not their answer. You're your own. The loop breaks when you let it. You don't owe anything. The urge to explain fades. But another reflex does. A dialogue cuts through. Why didn't you tell them? They didn't need to know. But they'll misunderstand. Detachment is a form of respect. One final reflex waits to test your ground. Lesson 9. The flight of escape. You feel the weight. Their absence stings. The room closes in. The ache grows sharp. You reach for the phone, not to call, but to scroll. You open a game, a video, a drink, anything to drown the pain. You tell yourself it's rest. You tell yourself it's fine. It's not. It's escape. A flight that buries pain, but never lifts you. You think you're free. You think you're safe. You're not. The ache waits, stronger in the dark. The haze thickens, unseen. You scroll, and the ache lingers. You drink, and the void grows. You distract, but the pain follows. You didn't outrun it. You carried it, deeper into the fog. Each dodge steals your clarity, your presence, your truth. You lose yourself to a shelter that doesn't hold. The ache isn't your enemy. Your flight is the chain. What need is there to run from what is within you? Seneca, the pain isn't your fault. Your refusal to face it is. The haze doesn't protect. It binds. The ache doesn't fade. It grows when you turn away. Stop running. The truth is in the light you avoid. Ground, that's the stand. When the urge to flee hits, stay. Sit with it. Face the ache. Let it be. Breathe through. You don't need noise to survive. You don't need haze to stand. One moment, then another, then quiet. The fog clears when you stop fleeing. You're not the escape. You're the one who stays. The ache passes when you let it. Not doing is power too. The fog lifts, but another reflex lingers. A number cuts through. 80% of your distractions deepen the pain they hide. The rest, just delay it. One final lesson waits to anchor your ground. Lesson 10. The burden of loss. You wake to it. The quiet where they used to be. The space feels wrong, empty, cold. You trace the edges of their absence. A voice gone, a touch missing. You tell yourself it's grief. You tell yourself it's natural. It's not just that. It's loss. A burden you carry when you refuse to let go. You think it honors them. You think it keeps you close. It doesn't. It binds you to a past you can't live. The weight settles. Deep, unseen. You move through days, but the void follows. You hold their memory, not as love, but as proof. Proof you were enough, or weren't. The burden doesn't heal. It chains, pulling you from the present into a ghost you can't hold. You lose breath. You lose light. You lose yourself to a shadow that doesn't answer. Their absence isn't your task. Your grip is the weight. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will.
Epictetus, their absence isn't your burden. Your refusal to release is.
The memory isn't your home. It's a cage you keep building. Stop carrying. The truth is in the quiet you avoid. Release. That's the shift. When the loss stings, don't cling. Let go. Not with tears. Not with force. With nothing. See the space. Breathe through it. You don't need their echo to stand. You don't need their shadow to be. One breath, then another, then silence. The burden lifts when you stop carrying. You're not the loss. You're the one still here. The quiet holds, and you're free. Cold peace is enough. The burden lifts, but the quiet remains. A final pause waits to hold you still. The phone is off. The room is still. No sound, no light, just your breath. It moves, slow, steady. The only motion in the dark. Nothing else stirs. The urge to check didn't win. The need to explain didn't pull. You stayed here, in the quiet, in the pause, a space you claimed without breaking. You didn't chase. You didn't cling. The ache came, and you let it pass. Not with force, not with fight, but with nothing. The silence wasn't empty. It was yours. A ground you held, a truth you saw. The void didn't take you. You took it back. When you chose to stay still, did you lose or find? The silence didn't answer, but you did. You're here, breathing, seeing, not running. The ache didn't win. You did. The quiet isn't a verdict. It's a mirror, and you're still standing. Stillness is where you begin.